If you own a home with a basement, you have one job when it rains, and that's to get the water away from your house. Gutters are your first line of defense. They collect the water from the roof and bring it to the downspouts, which bring the water down to the ground. From there, if you don't want that water to seep into your foundation or flood your basement, you need to get it away from your home. When we first purchased the house, which is definitely older, and the woman who lived here before us had lived here for 70 years, and the downspouts were draining directly onto the ground and were in really poor condition. And so we really wanted to get the water away from the house, make sure that it wasn't going to get into the basement and do any flooding. So we did buried drains, and it was one of the easiest, quickest jobs that we've done on this house. It only took a weekend. One of the things which worked to our advantage is the slope of our yard. The house is about 3 feet higher than the back corner of our yard. So the first thing we did was to plan the path of our drains. We have 2 downspouts, which each went into their own line. Then we brought those 2 lines together before running a single line to the end, which was about 50 feet away from our house. Once we had the path to our drains, we got digging. We used 3-inch tubing, so we dug trenches about 6 inches deep. This drain is all running through our yard, so we won't be doing anything aggressive like driving a car over it, and we don't have plans to put any structures over the pipe. We didn't use any specific tools. In the area we knew we were going to landscape, we just dug our ditch with a shovel. We had one major obstacle, a concrete path which ran through our line. We dug from both sides and then passed the pipe through once the opening was wide enough. For the section which was going to be grassy, we used an edge cutter to cut the trench line and then to get under the grass and pull it up in sections. This way we would be able to replace the grass on top once we installed the pipe. For the dirt, we didn't pile it in the yard. We used cardboard boxes we had left over from moving. We just cut them open and piled the dirt onto the surface. Once the trenches were done, it was time to install the pipes. We learned everything we needed and ordered all the supplies from one YouTuber named French Drain Man. They were really helpful in answering all our questions as we were getting ready for the project. The online store has kits as well as individual components. We ended up using a combination of kit and individual pieces, given that we were combining 2 downspouts into one pipe. We laid out everything to make sure we had all we needed before we started. Then we placed the pipe in our trenches. For the catch basin, we cut a hole in the geotextile fabric at each side to pass the pipe through. We connected each pipe in to the catch basin and then filled the space below with pea gravel to help drainage from the bottom of the basin. The catch basin came pre-drilled, so we just had to install it. Once we connected everything, we placed a turf restrictor plate on the top. Some people like the smaller plates, but its purpose is to keep the turf from covering the catch basin, so it really needs to be big enough that the grass can't grow over it. After we wrapped the catch basin with fabric, we then taped each of the junctions between the pipe and joints to make sure we don't get any leaks or roots growing through our pipe system. The pipe closest to the house is solid, and the last 25 feet is knife cut. This lets the bulk water drain in a storm, and then the knife cut pipe acts as a leach line for any water remaining. Once we put the system in the ground and taped all the junctions, we got to burying the pipes. From the downspout leaf filter all the way back to the pop-out, we took the soil we dug out and covered the pipes. The boxes for the soil came in really handy, as we were able to put all the soil back in the trench before placing the grass cutouts on top. Once we had the new downspouts installed, we connected it to this leaf filter, which has a little pop-out where you can get any of the debris that has come down the downspout, and you can clean it out here. Super easy. And then it's connected to this 3-inch pipe that goes under the ground. They both do, and they come together right about here with a Y junction. And then they can continue straight to this catch basin. This catch basin collects any other debris that didn't get caught in the leaf filter, such as rocks and asphalt from our shingled tiles. It then continues all the way down here to the low part of our yard, where you have the pop-out. Pop-out has this little flap that opens and the water kind of bubbles out and goes into this distributed area that's much larger and is able to soak into the ground, and it eliminates possibly getting into our home, which was the entire point of this project. Now when it rains like this, the water is draining safely away from our basement. One job done, plenty more to go.